Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We got a conversation today, but first, let me adjust my plus five hat of weaponsmithing. What? All right, now the headline might be a little triggering, but this is not a drama video. This is not a controversy video. This is not a call out video. This is not a shit talking video. This is a video that I think brings up some really solid points that we can discuss as a community. So, popular fitness YouTuber Jason Blaha had recently posted the results of his DEXA scan. Now, Blaha has been a controversial figure. He's got a large following on social media, on YouTube specifically, some kind of outspoken viewpoints, different training philosophies. I do find his channel to be entertaining. Might not agree with everything he says, but I review a lot of the different YouTube content that's out there, and I have no opinion. I make no opinion, and I'm offering no opinion on any of the peripheral conversations that might be had about it. I want to keep this very specific to the science that he discussed. So he openly discusses the results of his DEXA scan, recent DEXA scan, and I have to give the man credit for promoting the results of his DEXA scan. So, as a plus 40-year-old male at 5'9" with a body weight of 238 pounds, he has an approximate total body fat percentage of 24, which puts him at a BMI of 35.1. Now, this is troubling, and I don't know that Blaha had really discussed, and he didn't in his video discuss that it's kind of troubling. He did admit, say, "Yep, I'm a little overweight. Yep, I got some fat to lose. Yep, I got to refocus on my diet and get down." He set a goal for himself to get down to 15% body fat, down from approximately 24. Kudos, that's a good thing. So really, I'm not no drama here. I'm not trying to draw drama on this video. I just want to have an educational conversation with a lot of you guys that might be in similar scenarios, especially if you're going through bulking phases. Now, what scares me as a health professional and someone who works with athletes and clients every single day is those numbers at his age, above 49 years old, or above 40 years old, excuse me. I believe he was 43. I think he's right around, that's my age, right? I'm 42 years old. So we're almost the same age. I'm 5'10". He's 5'9". This morning, I weighed in 185 pounds. After a mini cut, I'll float back up to 194. I'm shredded at this age and stage of my life. That's really important. I'm strong as fuck, right? You can see the lifts. I have lifts on my videos on my Instagram and all the other stuff. So strength doesn't suffer as a consequence. It's not a comparison, but we are of the same age group. Now, a body fat percentage that's above 14% in our criteria, and more modern science shows that the incidence of all-cause mortality increases once you get above those mid-teens. So above 14%, that's our ceiling. Above 14%, the incidence of all-cause mortality increases. Now, more traditional standard science says at 25%, your rate of all-cause mortality is guaranteed, right? So at 25%, if you're a man with 25% body fat, the all the odds, all the percentage say you're going to die of a pretty terrible lifestyle related disease. And Mr. Blaha is really knocking on that door at 24%. That's a little scary. Also, at his body mass index of 35.1, that puts him in the obese category. So he is clinically defined as an obese person. Now, if he shows any characteristic of other sort of health conditions, any characteristic that, high blood pressure, any sort of heart disease, blood sugar issues, at that BMI of 35.1, he would be considered morbidly obese. So at 40, BMI of 40, you're morbidly obese. At 35.0, with any characteristic of health concern, you would be considered morbidly obese. So let's just say he's in the obese category, certainly in the overweight category. Muscle mass has nothing to do with this. I don't care how much muscle mass you have. That's fine. That's great. Muscle is cool. I like muscle. But it's those two criterias. And also we can actually talk about waist circumference, waist to shoulder ratio, because there is very strong data that shows a direct correlation to waist circumference and all cause mortality, a higher incidence of all cause mortality. And I keep using that term all cause mortality. It's very important to understand because there's many different metabolic factors that fall into this category. So again, this is not a bash on Jason Blaha. That's not what this is about. I think he was very brave in actually showing his DEXA scan. That's something that most people won't do, even more fit people won't do. And the fact that he shared that with his community and individuals like myself are here commenting on it, I think that actually needs to be applauded. That being said, there's some takeaways that can't be overlooked. The takeaways are that BMI is much too high, much too high. Body fat percentage, much too high, much too high. Those numbers 5 pounds. All the data shows a 10% reduction in body weight when you have these life issues to death. There we go. I think we had a little blink out there. I apologize. YouTube's been a little just plug back into the hard line. I apologize if that blipped out. This YouTube live, I really hope they get their shit straight and they set it up. It's a great way to interact with you guys immediately, but at the same time, man, it fucks up a lot. I've had a lot of streams get fucked up because the YouTube feed dies, and I'm hard lined in right now. So YouTube, please get your shit together. I mean, I can't do that, but they can. Um, all right, Coley. What's up, Coley? Hey, Mike, how are you? Paul, I'm doing good. What up, Dolce? Seth, I'm doing great. Jason Myers, hello. Blah, blah, blah. Ha ha, blah, blah. That's awesome, Chapin. Big fan of Arrested Development. Paul Damon, what's up? Just had nitro brew coffee. Bam. Marius, L-carnitine would list for fat loss. I'm not really a fan of L-carnitine. I've seen the scientific literature that supports it. I've seen zero anecdotal evidence that supports it, and that really matters. I've known scores of athletes, myself included, that have taken the L-carnitine, zero results. Joseph Diaz, hey Mike, I'm over the keto coma. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate all the info you're putting out. I appreciate it. People on SureDog. Yeah, Dean, and what it is, so all the trolls out there, they're typically the same trolls, and usually they're friends with or even competitors. They're the competitors themselves that create these false accounts. We know that for a fact because our tech team is amazing, and we can actually do a lot of pretty in-depth research that most people don't have. So we have names, we have IP addresses, we have identities, we know the common accounts. There's one individual that we know that has 27 different accounts all coming from the same IP address. Literally, they have entire forum threads where they're talking to themselves the entire time. And what's crazy is they've been doing this for years, living this weird multiple personality identity for years. That doesn't matter to us. What matters to us is you guys, is the real people, and the amount of lives that we can change, the amount of people that we help. That's what we do. We help people. Like this video, and I'm not here to talk shit. I'm not, and there's no drama, and hopefully this is taken respectfully. There's no drama in this video. It's just really talking about the science, and it's talking about the facts, so you guys have a better understanding of what actually matters here. We want to get that body fat percentage low, right? We want to be walking around sub 14% body fat, really 12% body fat. That's the Goldilocks zone. That's the ideal, especially as we get older. As we get older, we want to get lighter and we want to get leaner. We want to fight and push away the incidence of all-cause mortality. We want to keep our BMI low as possible. I'm a guy who's heavily muscled at my height. I walk around with a high BMI. So the BMI by itself is not the problem. The BMI plus body fat percentage plus waist circumference. That is the tripod of doom and gloom. And I really have worked very hard because I got two little babies at home. I've worked very hard to make sure my weight has come down and stayed down. My body fat has come down and stayed down. My BMI has come down and stayed down. And my waist circumference has come down and stayed down. At 42 years old, this is the healthiest my blood work has ever been, the healthiest my lean mass ratio has ever been, the highest my performance output has ever been at this age and stage of life. I'm not as focused as my all-out 1RM absolute strength, although I can pop big numbers with the best of them. But then I can go for a 10-mile run. I can go for a 12-hour hike. I can climb, jump, sit, roll, grapple, compete in mixed martial arts. I can do all that stuff all in the same day. And that's really what it comes down to in my age and stage of life. Me in the mid 20s to early 30s, yeah, different goals, different focus. But at this stage of life, man, it's all about that health. It's all about that health. Um, what the fuck? What is, Blaha telling the truth? You need a young Jamie. I do need a young Jamie out here. Young Jamie, man. You got a little brother, homie? Hook it up. Hook it up. It's just me. It's just me being a fucking meathead out here with these enormous traps bumping out of my shirt. I just like to do that in these V-necks, these $80 V-necks. I'll have to tear them out. My wife's like, what are you doing to your shirts? Gains, baby. It's about them gains. Are you going to have Ben Greenfield on the podcast, Seth? That's actually a great idea. I have to reach out to Ben. I haven't reached out to him yet. I'll try and find him on social media or through his website. We got a stacked lineup. We actually have Sean Clarita coming up. Sean Clarita is a former collegiate wrestler. He made the transition into bodybuilding, and he just won the 212-pound men's bodybuilding championship in the New York Pro. Having Sean Clarita up. We have Rafael Lovato Jr., who's considered to be the greatest current American grappler competing today. He's undefeated in mixed martial arts. He just won his most recent fight in Bellator with a submission over my good friend and former roommate Gerald Harris. So we got Rafael Lovato coming on Saturday. We had Sean Clarita coming on for Monday or Tuesday next week. We have John Anik, former ESPN host, current UFC commentator. John Anik is coming on soon. We got quite a few. We got a big list coming up. Seems like this is relatively clear and concise way for Jason to have a wake up call. Hopefully, it turns positive. I hope so too. I hope so too, and I think that would be cool to actually see his channel, his commentary, and maybe he can sweep in some more positive reviews if he does. I think he has to, and it'll be interesting actually because like I said, I'm a fan of his channel. I'm not a hater. I don't hate on anybody. I hate on like the keto cult, and I hate on the liars and the processed foods and the synthetic chemicals. I hate on those mindsets. But you guys have noticed I never call anybody out in particular because all they're human beings. They have lives and they have families, and I don't know what their core motivation are. So I don't call anybody out. I don't try and embarrass anybody here. We just try and relay facts and be as honest as possible. So let's hope that I don't know if Jason, because I'm considered to be a small channel in his world. We got 30,000 someone followers, though our social media empire is quite a bit larger than our small YouTube, relatively small. You guys are awesome though. And but that being said, I don't know if he'll listen to this, but if so, it would be interesting to see if he's actually able to start implementing some of the dietary strategies, the lifestyle strategies, to see that body weight start to drop, to see the body fat percentage start to drop, to see the BMI start to drop. And one thing with someone like Jason, or anybody else out there who has these issues, your blood work also, you have to get your blood work done. I get my blood work done typically every 3 months maximum. I'm on a right now I'm getting it done every 2 weeks because I just ran that my 3 weeks to shredded course. You guys know I've lost 28 pounds in the last 21 days, which is pretty insane. Although the last little bit, I did use some of our weight cutting, a mini cut. Actually, I called it. I didn't do the full week. I actually did a 48-hour mini cut to touch down at 185 from 213. Like I said, I'll float back up to 195 or so. I'll probably bounce to like 196, 198, and then I'll settle back down at 92, 94 as I recalibrate my body and move forward. That being said, the management of our weight, the management of our health, but the identification of our blood work is crucial. You gotta know. You gotta know what your blood work looks like. What's your total cholesterol? What's your LDL? What's your HDL? What are your triglycerides? What's your A1C level look like? What's happening? What's your thyroid function look like? Like what's your PSA? You gotta know what's happening in your body, guys, especially. Ben Greenfield seemed like this is relatively clear and concise. Yep, less better now. And let's get down there. Jason has been exposed more than anybody. Confused. What is this about? I'm currently trying to get down to 165. I'm at 189 currently at a calorie deficit of 1,500. Is that safe method for weight loss? No, because where do you go? Once you're in that extreme calorie deficit, where do you go from there? That's the problem. That's what we try not to do. We want to feed you to the scale. That's what we do with our athletes. Remember, we work with the world's greatest athletes getting ready for weight class dominated sports. If we drop their calories too low, they bonk out, they break down muscle tissue, they lose energy, they can't compete, they get their ass kicked. We can't do that, nor would we ever suggest you guys do that. And this is where bodybuilders kind of fuck up. And it'll be cool to talk to Sean Clarita because I really want to talk to him about how did he cut weight when he was a collegiate wrestler as compared to how does he cut weight now as a competitive bodybuilder. He's lucky because he doesn't have to, he weighs like 30, 40 pounds less than his weight class limit at 212. I think he competes around 170 or so. He doesn't have to cut weight, but he still has to dry out. I want to talk to him about that. I'm going to get Dave Palumbo on here soon too and talk about how he gets those bodybuilders down because they're really on the brink of death, truly. So I'm going to compare MMA versus bodybuilding with Dave. That'll actually be a really good one. Just hard to get Dave's schedule kind of locked in. But to answer your question, Joseph Diaz, no, man, we would never eat for a 105-pound female. We don't drop her calories down below 1,500. 1,500 calories is the floor for us because there is a certain amount of vital micronutrition that every human must consume. Now, there might be a little peak in a valley on a given day, but averaged out over a 3-day, a 5-day, a 7-day, a 10-day period, your calories will be 1,500 or more and considerably much greater. I don't think I dropped below 2,200 calories the entire time I was going through this 21-day weight cut where I lost 28.2 pounds in 21 days. Not a single day did I drop below 2,200 calories in doing that. And that's very important. Right. So what we do is we pull our calories through exertion. We don't pull our calories through caloric reduction. And this is where a lot of teams and a lot of systems go wrong. They essentially starve you. So what happens? The body starts breaking down. They pull the micronutrients. So now cellular reaction is off. Micronutrients are catalysts for all cellular reaction. So if you drop those, if you pull those, if you pull the calcium, the iron, the magnesium, the phosphorus, if you start pulling these vital micronutrients, what happens? The body doesn't operate as it should. You get sick, you get hurt, you get your ass kicked or much greater. So no, I would not suggest that. Joseph Diaz, go to thedolcediet.com right now. Just join our 4 or 12-week online personalized nutrition and exercise program. If you don't like it, you get 100% money back guarantee. I mean, what more can we do for you guys? Like, take a look at it, see if it suits you, look at all the meals, all the recipes, the way it's laid out, and then just start to follow it. It's fucking awesome. It's awesome. We have tens of thousands of people following it right now. It's based on the same science our world-class athletes use that we've, I can't say perfected, but we've been striving to perfect for over 20 years. It's been a constant evolution. It will never be perfect. Tim Kennedy would be an interesting guest too. Absolutely. Yeah. I love Tim. Tim's actually a great guy. I'm a buddy of Tim's. So I'll get him. I was on his show not long ago. I used to follow Jason's program, but after I found out he was insane, I switched to starting strength as I really don't trust his advice anymore. I understand that. And I'm not going to get too deep into that. Um, I know. And, it's hard to say. And I'm not defending the bullshit. And I'm not criticizing also because I'm kind of trying to take more of an unbiased scientific journalistic approach here. A lot of information, like I said, that he puts out, I disagree with. But there's some stuff that he puts out that's actually pretty solid and you can't just throw everything out. So I try and review everything on case by case. But also, this is an entertainment platform, YouTube. So who's really the right person? Fuck, man. You know, I know Chael Sonnen. I know Conor McGregor. I know Colby Covington. These are the MMA athletes. I know Ronda Rousey. I know these athletes, and the public persona is very different from the real life persona, the personal life. So I'm not gonna, without knowing or having more context, it would be unfair for me to make any sort of allegations. Jason says you give awesome information. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. That's why I'm here. Vasily is down 3.9 pounds in the first 2 days of the Dolce Diet's 3 weeks to shredded program and loves the food. So he's down 4 pounds in the first 2 days following our online program at thedolcediet.com. That's very common nowadays. I got to say these results are atypical and do not follow this or any dietary program without doctor's supervision, right? But and that's all in our terms and conditions on the site. So it's important to say information this is for information purposes only. But that being said, people are fucking crushing it. People are crushing it, and they're eating real food, real fucking food. There's no supplements. We're not selling you anything. Real food. There is some people will get the option of taking a cold processed cross flow microfiltered whey protein isolate once to twice per day, depending on what your goals are, what your body size is. And that's just a way to get those aminos into your body at a lower total caloric threshold. Someone like me, bigger guy, trying to like have these extreme results. So I was taking in 40 grams in divided doses, 220s of the whey isolate. My wife had 0 whey protein on her dietary program. She lost 10.2 pounds total is where Brandy finished, which is really cool. But she didn't have any whey protein on her program. So it's not a supplement program at all. Dave Palumbo is big proponent of keto. Yeah, I'm going to talk to Dave about keto too, because I think Dave and I, we actually agree. on keto. Notice Dave's not on keto now, and most of his bodybuilders aren't on keto most of the time. What and I think, and I really want to drill down with Dave and any other scientist out there. Let's drill down on what is keto. Is keto actually the attainment of the metabolic state of ketosis, or is keto simply following a low carbohydrate diet? So I'll drill down with Dave on that one. People don't realize how important phyto and micronutrients are. Exactly. That's what our whole entire diet is based upon. Micronutrition much more important than macronutrition. Vasily, yes, I love the blueberries, love veggies, so good, and I do weigh twice a day. So you're on a similar program to me. I'm trying to cut after I want to hear your bulk from 193 to okay. So you started at 225. So we're on a similar program. Remember, I went from 213.2, I believe, 213.2 down to 185, 185.0, because I wanted to officially weigh in as a middleweight. For the middleweight title, you have to be 185.00. I weighed 185.00 on day 21 to finish up my cut. Now, mind you, I did employ a mini cut towards the very end, the last 48 hours. I did do what we do so well with the Dolce diet. And I dropped an additional 6 pounds, mostly of water during that time. And I'll float back up, I'll rehydrate, I'll put everything back where it's supposed to be, and then I'll bring that down. My goal is to walk around right around 192. I want to be walking around 192. I'd like to be about 192 at about 8%. For maybe 4 to 6 weeks this summer, and then I'll let my body weight float back up. I feel my best about 11% body fat, and I've been tracking my data for the better part of since before UFC Fit. So over the better part of 6 years, right around 11% is who I feel the best. I look the best. I perform the best. And that's probably where I want to get to. But it's pretty cool to be down at 8% just for a little bit. Seth, no kidding, your program is crushing it. I'm not even on the full program, and I'm down 50 pounds. Seth is following one of our programs at thedolcediet.com. It's awesome, man. Shred without muscle loss. Well, what the goal is, Vasily, the goal is to maintain as much muscle as possible. We fight for every ounce, every gram of lean muscle tissue. Now, the muscle tissue, because of glycogen retention and how it binds to water, so the muscle mass will kind of ebb and flow, but it will never quite disappear. That's important. That's why our program kind of waves through, and we have multiple refeeds, as you'll see as you go. You went to gangster weight, Seth. That's right, 85.00 gangster weight. Do you think I can do starting strength and while training in Muay Thai and BJJ and still make gains? You can, but that's tough. It's tough to do because Muay Thai is brutal. Jiu-Jitsu, brutal. Starting strength, brutal. Awesome. They're all awesome. So you can do a little bit of everything, but at the same time, you got to be really careful. Right? You can do a little bit of everything, but you have to have kind of a goal. What's going to be your focus? And what I would do is I put a priority every 3 weeks to one or the other. So that's a 9-week cycle. Dolce, you're like the NSA of health with all your data. Seth, I appreciate. I'm just here, right? I don't know. Most people don't have the experience that we do. Most people don't have the credibility that we do. Most don't have the team of licensed professionals like we do. I'm paying everybody's salary on our team: registered dietitians, certified trainers, research scientists, exercise physiologists, all, and then we have our tech team and all the other part. They're all a part of our team here. I'm just the figurehead and the voice because I got to do something. But we have more experience than probably any other team, from PhDs all the way on down. We have what I call it's the Knights of the Round Table. We have such an amazing group of individuals. When we come up with content, when we create new ideas and new diets and new programs, we have feedback from specialists, and we all throw down, we all debate, we all drink a shit ton of coffee and espresso, and we make sure that everything we put together is just spot on. But also, the most important thing, we have results. We have over 20 years of results at the world-class level with 100% success rate, right? We got trolls out there and haters. Hey, people hate us because they ain't us, but nobody can say that we don't have a 100% success rate working with the world's greatest athletes over a 20+ year career. No other team can say that. Ours is the only team with that type of success rate, and we worked with the worst athletes, the least healthy athletes, the athletes that were the biggest problem childs. And we'll say, like a Johnny Hendricks, worked with him 7 times. He made weight 7 times with us and won the UFC world title with us from being an undercard fighter. He missed weight 4 times since he stopped working with us. Thiago Alves missed weight right before we started working together, made weight 7 times under our care, made a shitload of money, and then missed weight the next fight after stopped working with us. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Kelvin Gastelum made 170.00 pounds with us, got a performance of the night versus Brian Melanson, his welterweight debut. We dropped him from 185 to 170. He weighed the championship weight, whipped Brian Melanson's ass, who's a tough guy, got the $50,000 submission of the night bonus for his performance. And then Kelvin had moved on and missed weight, was hospitalized multiple times, and then even forced by the organization to move up a weight class because they weren't confident he can make weight. We just know what we're doing, and it's all based on longevity science, and that's what people they miss. They focus so much on the bro and the sports nutrition, they forget all about longevity. So I'm going to wrap this video up. We're getting a little long now. I think I'm off the point here. The point is, guys and girls, I don't care how strong you are, I don't care how much muscle mass you have, there are clear indicators of your health: your BMI, your body fat percentage, and that waist circumference. You have to keep your BMI low. You have to keep that body fat percentage low, and you have to keep your waist circumference low. I don't want to hear about it. You have to get your blood work done every 3 months. You must be tracking your markers of all-cause mortality. Life is short. Life is short enough if you live 100 years. Right? Do not be one of those people that keel over at 50 or 60 years old because of the stupid bonehead decisions you made in your 20s and 30s. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be strong. Remember, this is not a controversy video. I'm not trying to be stir the pot or any of that bullshit. I just saw it was interesting. I applaud Blaha for actually posting that information. Most people wouldn't post that. And that has to, I got to give credit for it. I didn't agree with his positive spin on the information, though. I felt that was, kind of either disingenuous, or we deal with people, they just put blinders on because they don't want to address the real health aspects of it. And that's kind of why I'm making this video. So anybody who kind of watched it or knows or is aware realizes that that's something that needs to seriously be considered. It's not worth getting stronger, adding 5 pounds to your squat, if your BMI and your body fat percentage and your waist circumference continues to increase. You got to pull that stuff down before you do anything. 1,500 calorie shake. Wow, that's a serious shake. Nas, a 1,500 calorie shake is just as good as eating your own food. I use peanut butter, coconut oil. I can't say it's as good or it's worse. It's not, I have no problem with that. But how does it fit into your overall day? Now, 1,500 calories to be consumed at any given time is a lot of calories. We like to be somewhere in the 400 to 800 calorie range. I might cut that in half, though blending it does help with digestion. It's almost pre-digested when it's in that shake form. That can help with digestive efficiency. Part of what we do, a big part of what we do, is we focus on digestive efficiency, not just calorie consumption. It's not calories in versus calories out. It's calories actually absorbed and utilized. That matters much more than what you're consuming. So I hope that helps. Guys and girls, if you like this video, leave a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Feel free to leave any other additional comments below. And those of you who are sneaking a peek while watching at work, I'm going to end this one right now. I'm going to come back in 5 minutes because I got another topic to talk about with you. Boom.